Well, guess what it's time to do? It's time to call out South Shore 12 once again. In fact, many of the News 12s, except for News 12 New Jersey, all over Trump's rally in the Bronx. And it almost felt like I was watching a campaign ad for Donald Trump. I mean, can it be any more obvious who South Shore 12 supports? It's so obvious that they're geared to the white finance professional, right-wing Trump supporters, all right? It's so obvious, all right? I mean, these are the same kind of people that stand around Belmore, flying the flags. This guy here, and this truck here, and this guy here. Look, I can't stand Joe Biden, but to say that is very disrespectful, all right? And then worst of all this, save the whales, make the climate cultists go extinct because Trump does not believe in climate change. So we're going to play this interview. I'm going to obviously be speaking during it. We're going to watch it because they did a
6-minute Park. Trump gave a local
interview with Trump. And this was on all the News 12s. All of them. I mean, they've been all over this all freaking day long, News 12. It's unbelievable.
Exclusive one-on-one interview with News 12. We're going to play the video without editing, and we must warn you, some of the claims Trump makes are claims he has made
Thank you so much for carving out this time to speak with us.
And there's Tara Rosenblum, who is definitely a snob, somebody I absolutely cannot stand.
I want to talk big picture because you referenced it towards the end of your speech. Right now, pretty much every major poll, mainstream polling, shows you leading in the 6 or 7 states that will likely determine this presidential race. So
very disturbing. If, God forbid, we have Donald Trump as president again, and I have a friend, a very good friend of mine, I'm good friends with, but I disagree with him strongly on this, all right? He knows who he is, but you know, I understand Joe Biden sucks, but Trump, I mean, look at this guy, all right? He's a monster, all right? Where do I even start when it comes to the environment? But let's just talk about what happened on January 6th, shall we? With the whole insurrection thing that he led, that he denies, all the criminal things he's involved in, and somehow yet he's not in jail. Somehow he's allowed to continue to be so popular. What is wrong with people in this country? I just don't get it. And then especially News 12 giving 6 minutes to an interview on this. I mean, when Trump was in Wildwood, New Jersey, I didn't see News 12 New Jersey interview him. But it's so obvious that News 12 in New York, it just supports this kind of mentality. It's just so odd because that's the difference between New York and New Jersey.
So I want you to take me behind the curtain of your campaign and explain to me your strategy to maintain your lead with independent and undecided voters while at the same time making a dent in deep blue states like here in New York that you didn't win last time.
Well, I think really what the strategy is to talk about the 4 years we had. We're the greatest economy ever.
Greatest economy ever. I don't think we were doing so great.
Built our military. We had the biggest tax cuts, bigger than the Ronald Reagan tax cuts.
Yeah, for the rich. While the middle class and the lower income had to suffer, right.
The things we've done are pretty monumental things. Almost nobody, even with an 8-year term, has done what we did.
Monumental. Yeah, to help the rich. Because remember, you promised that you'd get all the illegals gone. And I was living in Westbury at the time. And you didn't get all the illegals gone, and I had to move out of Westbury because Westbury was taken over by them. Yeah.
Biggest regulation cuts, biggest tax cuts.
Biggest regulation because he wants to just, he wants to pollute the planet.
Force. We rebuilt our entire military. We had no wars other than I defeated ISIS. And everybody said...
No, it was actually Obama that defeated ISIS.
That would take years. It took me 1.5 months. We have an incredible military.
No, Obama did all that work, actually.
And it's not going woke, except some fools at the top. We have a great, great military. We did it in 1.5 months. Totally
1.5 months.
ISIS.
You're delusional.
100%. So they see what happened. They see things that we did on a medical basis. The vets see what I've done for the vets. We had the highest approval.
Yeah, what about the remarks you made about that veteran? You made some pretty nasty remarks about some veterans.
Rating in history, 92% approval rating with our vets, the Veterans Administration.
I don't know where you got that information from.
And they look at that, and that's basically what I talk about. You know, much easier than the first time, because the first time I said, I will do things. But we did all those things and much more. We had the safest border in the history of our country, and now we have the worst border in history.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with him on that. Joe Biden has failed on the border. He's failed on the border. But, again, you promised that all the illegals would be gone, and they didn't go away, all right?
We will make it safe again, and it'll be safe again very quickly.
Make it safe again. It was never safe in Westbury.
A big night last night. Nikki Haley making her first public remarks since dropping out of the race. She said that Joe Biden has been a catastrophe, and she said she's voting for you. I'm sure those were welcome remarks for you, but it also...
I don't understand what is wrong with Republicans, why they want to unite behind this guy. I don't understand what has gotten into people.
Also left a lot of people wondering, is there room for her on your team, or better yet, your ticket?
Well, I think she's going to be on our team because we have a lot of the same ideas, the same thoughts. I appreciated what she said. You know, we had a nasty campaign. It was pretty nasty. But she's a very capable person, and I'm sure she's going to be on our team in some form. Absolutely.
So if not Nikki, then who? Let's make some news tonight, you and I, for your hometown TV station.
Are you kidding me? Can it be any more obvious what's going on here? This is unbelievable. This is just unbelievable. Like News 12 is now Fox. We have Fox News now. People keep saying News 12 is left-wing media. No, it's actually right-wing, and it's going more and more to the right. That's why they gear to the South Shore. That's why they gear to white people, because it's a right-wing station.
Share with me your top 3 candidates for your running mate at this point.
Well, we have so many. I don't want to do that, but we have so many. You could take people like Ben Carson. You could take people like Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance. I mean, there are so many. Elisa's doing a fantastic job. But I could go on for quite a long time. We have many people that would do a really fantastic job.
Do you have a timeline on when you'll make the decision?
I think sometime during the convention.
Okay, and you're also, going back to the polling, you're making a lot of ground with Latino voters, which of course make up more than half the vote here in the Bronx, a voting bloc that is traditionally skewed blue. What do you attribute this shift to, and do you see that support?
Probably because they're fed up with Governor Kathy Hochul. And if anyone helps Donald Trump, it's Governor Kathy Hochul.
Is critical to the campaign.
Well, when you have somebody like tonight, we had Ruben Diaz Sr., who's one of the most respected Hispanics in the country, come out and just give us a full-throated endorsement. That's a big thing. But we've been doing very well. We did well in the last 2 elections, actually. So there seems to be a kind of a relationship that I have with the Hispanics. They're very entrepreneurial people, very smart, very energetic, and they like me, and I like them.
And since you mentioned the migrant crisis during your speech as well, since there have been an arrival of thousands and thousands of migrants to the tri-state area, it has led to undoubtedly an economic, a social, a humanitarian crisis here. If elected, what actions will you take on that front?
We're going to have no choice. We have many criminals coming in. They're coming from all over the world, not just from South America. And they're coming out of jails and prisons. They're coming out of mental institutions.
I have to agree with him here.
And insane asylums, and that many terrorists. And we have to take them out. We have to get them out of the country.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But you didn't do it the last time.
To deport them. No country can withstand. This is an assault. It's an invasion. We are being invaded by millions of people. I think you have 16, 17 million people. That's bigger than almost any state. And it's not sustainable. And we will be doing a large deportation, especially immediately with the criminals. When you have people...
You promised that when in the first term, and I was dealing with gangs and illegals in Westbury. I didn't see it get any better.
That are murderers being let out of jails, and they're being put into the United States. Bad things are going to happen.
I'm told I have one question left, so let me just ask you briefly about your unprecedented trial, closing arguments in just a few days from now. What do you expect the outcome of all of this will be?
Well, we have a perfect case. Every single lawyer and legal expert, every one of them, scholars, Alan Dershowitz, John Turley, you take a look, Jonathan Turley, every single one, Andy McCarthy, Mark Levin, Greg Jarrett, the biggest, the best, every single one of them said there was no crime. He did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. This is a political hoax This is a way to try and help Biden get elected because he's incompetent and unable to run on his own. And I can tell you, we have a judge who's highly
I just, delusional.
conflicted, very, very
It's okay to break the law, right?
conflicted, like probably no other judge anytime, anywhere. We have a perfect case. There is no crime. There's nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong. Other people did things wrong, but we did nothing wrong. But you have a conflicted judge. He should have recused himself. He should be taken out by the appellate division. I don't know that they do that. But
Taken out by the appellate division. That's like a threat.
it's very bad for our country. But every single legal
You're looking at somebody who wants to be a dictator here, all right?
scholar of note in the country says this is something. And by the way, if it was brought, it should have been brought 7 years ago, not in the middle of my campaign.
That was News 12's Tara Rosenblum's exclusive local one-on-one interview with Donald Trump tonight here in the Bronx.
So all over that. I mean, literally all over that. And, I mean, they put it on the front page. Let's see, what else are they covering here? Oh, back to the South Shore again. Of course, back to Massapequa Park with their favorite people in Massapequa Park. I mean, it's so obvious, man, who they gear to. It's just so obvious. Meanwhile, there's stuff they didn't cover. Let's see what else they got. Air show. Because they barely covered that. Huntington Station, because that's not the South Shore. Sorry, we're not going to cover it. We're not going to cover it. Sorry, not going to cover it. They have another story here on it? 10 minutes. 10? Are you freaking kidding me? 10 freaking minutes on this. Are you kidding me? They're airing his speech. I mean, News 12 is obviously supporting Donald Trump. This is clear media bias. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Best beaches, of course, they're on the South Shore again. I mean, it's just so obvious what's going on here. It really is. I mean, it's so obvious who they gear to. It's all going to be about the South Shore. Welcome to the summer where if you think it's bad in the winter, it's all about the South Shore. In the summer, it's 100 times worse. They're going to be living it up on their little enclaves there. They're going to be packed, celebrating. The streets are going to be busy. And where I live, it's going to look like this. Nothing going on. Maybe a homeless person. That's about it. Maybe some trash on the street. There'll be nothing going on. It'll be dead because they thrive while we die. It's unbelievable. It really is. Let's look at Trump on climate here, all right? I don't want to lose track of what we're doing here, all right? All right, so there have been 74 actions to date by the Trump administration to weaken environmental protection. President Trump is particularly, this is during when he was still the president. President Trump is particularly focused on rolling back a policy to address climate change, which is possible because Congress has been unwilling to enshrine such policy in the law. In addition to deregulatory actions to support the fossil fuel industry, our nation's core environmental laws that ensure clean air and water and protect sensitive lands are also a focus of regulatory rollbacks. And you think he's going to support transit? All right. I don't think he's going to support transit. It's going to get worse. He wants to boost fossil fuel. He said drill, baby, drill. No, we don't need to drill, baby, drill. We got a climate crisis going on. Look at what it's doing. I don't have to explain it to you. Look at the southern pine beetle outbreaks that we've had here. Because the winters aren't cold enough anymore. The climate is changing. But he doesn't believe in it because you have people like this with the signs here. Let me get him on the screen here. This guy right here. Big ass with the butt cheeks, too. Vehicle there. I'm sick of these people, man. They're just taking over New York. It's unbelievable. It really is. It really is. Let's see if any of the other broadcast TV stations have spent so much time on this, because I don't think they have. Let's see. All right. That is the top story. But let's see how much time it's not going to show me how much time they spent. But I'm sure it's not as much. And we'll talk about that in another video. But I'm just disgusted here. I really am. I cannot believe what's going on. I just cannot freaking believe it. NBC New York. We'll check NBC New York. Trump holds a rally in the Bronx. Let's see how much time they spent on
Donald
it.
Trump
2 minutes and 56 seconds, which is a little more normal. Meanwhile, let's go to News 12 New Jersey, which I'm sure didn't even talk about it. Let's see. Well, let's see what they have on their front. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I guess they have it on their front page, too. At least it's on their front page, but I'm wondering if they actually have that on the broadcast. So it's obvious that News 12 is definitely in there for Trump. But when he was in Wildwood, they didn't cover it like this. All right. But at least News 12 New Jersey did spend 3 minutes on the storms. This is disgusting. It really is disgusting. This is disgusting journalism is what this is. Well, I can't even call it journalism because that's not what it is. This is just corruption at this point. News 12, which used to be somewhat fair and balanced, which I shouldn't say that because that was Fox News' old slogan, but this is not fair and it's not balanced. And, you know, I'm just disgusted with it. I really am. Look, Joe Biden has been an unmitigated disaster, but Trump is an even bigger disaster. Let's just put it this way. Joe Biden is like getting hit by a Category 1 hurricane. Donald Trump is like getting hit by a Category 5 hurricane. All right? They both suck. They're both lousy choices. But Trump has shown himself he wants to be dictator. He's running because he doesn't want to get convicted and put behind bars. Once he becomes the president, he can grant himself presidential immunity, and then he can be dictator. Is this the direction we want to take this country? I don't understand what is wrong with people, including some of my good friends. Agree to disagree. I don't even question them anymore, all right, on it. I just yes them along, all right? Donald Trump will be a huge mess for this country, and as much as I can't stand Joe Biden, I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but it certainly ain't going to be Donald Trump.